Meagan was bullied. Meagan was never comfortable in the church. The church couldn't tolerate her lifestyle. I'm talking about their divorce case. Hi, my name is Augustina. I am Amazon published author of 8 books. You are welcome to my channel, and if today is the first time of you tuning in, please do me a favor by liking and subscribing to my channel. Meagan was bullied. That was what she complained. Meagan felt not part of the church. She felt excluded. She felt lost. Frankly speaking, I think the church should be a place where someone comes in and feels at home. You need peace, inner peace of mind. You need that security, which I believe that church, in a time like this where we are living this our modern world, I think that the church would be the adequate place for someone to walk in or to run in and embrace that atmosphere of peace, of harmony, of friendship, of love, where you are, being understood, where you are being helped to walk through whatever you are going through in life. But that wasn't Meagan's good case. She felt excluded, she felt judged, she felt criticized. Everything about her, the church hate. They don't like her dressing. They don't like the roles she plays. People might be judging them. Why did they come together in the first place? Why they have to marry knowing that they are not compatible? Why must a pastor marry, an unbeliever? Because many people will say that Meagan is not a believer. She is an actress, can't be a believer. Well, I want their case to be like a manual that one will open and learn something. I want their case to be like a lifeguard for other ministers out there. Before you say I do, make sure that is what you want, and you are ready to stand by that I do. Make sure that is what you want. And for anyone wanting to marry a pastor, I think that one of the hardest minister you can ever marry is a pastor. Because it takes a strong, independent woman. When I say independent, I mean spiritually, emotionally, mentally, financially independent. That is a woman that can marry a pastor. To marry a pastor is not an easy thing. I respect women who marry pastors. Not because they are bad people or that they are hard to marry or to love, but the role they play in the church exposes them to so many weaknesses that not every woman can tolerate or endure. It takes not just grace alone. It takes a woman that is matured, a woman that knows what she wants and say that man is what I want. Being a pastor, I want to be a pastor's wife. Meagan Good, looking at her lifestyle since all this case of their divorce busted out, I went back to check on YouTube and to watch other videos that other people are, sharing. And I noticed one thing. I am not criticizing her here and I'm not judging her. I'll be the last person to judge her. Well, mine is just an opinion. But for anyone that will watch this video that knows what is going on right now concerning minister and preacher, Hollywood film producer, because Meagan Good is a Hollywood actress, and DevonFranklin is a Hollywood film producer. He is also a preacher, and he is also a minister. Devon knew very well that Meagan is exposed to the public. No one works in Hollywood that won't be exposed. Devon is a very strong man. To have been, stood by the side of that kind of woman for good 9 years, it means that he really loved Meagan. But Meagan did not give Devon chance to marry her. Why am I saying this? I went and I looked at her code of dressing. She dresses exactly as a Hollywood actress. Fine. But she couldn't bring balance. She couldn't bridge that gap from being a Hollywood actress to marrying a man of God, a minister. Though the husband is a film producer, and that is exactly where they met during their work. Fine. But she is not matured enough to say, let me make 2 steps backward. I'm not saying she has to compromise who she is, but at least, and I'm not also saying that she has to fake it. I'm the last to advocate or to encourage someone to fake who you are, to be accepted in a group, especially in a church. That is not what I'm saying. But as a woman of God, because as long as she is married and or she accepted to be married to Devon, she automatically becomes a woman of God. She automatically becomes, a minister. How does she, imagine or even think in her mind that the church where her husband is will accept her, will accept her code of dress, will accept the way she dresses and the way she exposes herself, And on one of the, on the red carpet, I saw a video on the red carpet where she was standing, she was being photographed, and I could read the body language of Devon. He was not all completely comfortable with the way she exposed. Her breast was showing completely. It wasn't decent, for someone married into a church, because you are no longer married only to your husband. You are not. Once you accept to marry a pastor, you are not. So you are no longer married only to your husband, the pastor. You are married to the entire church congregation. What do I mean by that? You have to know that all eyes will be on you, and at least respect your husband, respect the leaders of the church, and representing a man of God, representing the church, of Christ. The way she dresses is not suitable for a woman married to a man of God. And I know that, I could imagine how Devon must have struggled with this, her dress code. And on one of the occasions, I noticed a video on YouTube where they showed in the church, one of the women stood up and was like criticizing Meagan for the way she dressed on some occasions. And Devon got up and was like, he was defending her. Devon was, on her side, protecting her, defending her, and calling off the woman, saying that they were not there for such discussion. But the woman just came out adamantly, she was just brutal, and I don't like the way she addressed Meagan. That is not the way to address someone, okay? You can't just take microphone, and that's the way you help a sister to grow into becoming that perfect image of a godly wife, of a man of God. I believe that something went out of proportion. The church didn't play their role very well. They were not able to embrace her, bring her in as a sister, as a daughter, as a wife. They were not able to accommodate her, and she felt uncomfortable. She felt bullied, and to be bullied by any minister in any church is not a place to be. I experienced it. I was mocked. I was bullied in many occasions. I was molested, But I'm still standing. Why? Because I have made up my mind to serve God. I love to serve God. It comes from the bottom of my heart. It is not something that I'm forcing myself or somebody is forcing me. It looks like Devon is forcing Meagan to be a woman of God who she is not. You can't force. I always say this, and most people that comes across my video pick offense, and they feel insecure because of what I'm sharing. They say that it makes them feel uncomfortable, but that is the truth. Truth will make you feel uncomfortable. Most times I always say this: you can never ever make someone into whom she or he is not. I always say this in most of my videos, though they pick offense, as I said. You can't pull an elephant climbing the mountain. When you get tired, you cut the cord. And that was what Devon did. You can't be climbing the mountain, a mountain, and you want to pull an elephant with you. You can't make a woman into whom she is not, or into what she is not. If she is not a woman of God, she is not a woman of God. There is time and there is a season in life. There is a process that one has to go and mature into becoming a woman that Devon needed as a minister. That woman is a match for Devon as a film producer, but she is not a match for him as a minister of God. And they were not able to create balance. Meagan would have limited some certain exposure of her, body as a woman. I'm not criticizing her, but I wish she would watch this video, because what I have seen, everybody talking, but nobody is just like addressing them. Most of these people, nobody advises them, because most of the people they have around them are people who are only interested in what they can get from them, who only wants connection. Some are close to them for money, some are close to them for material things, and nobody will like to tell them the truth. Imagine we that are in ministry, when you want to tell your pastor or another minister in the church the truth, see how they will retaliate, they will pick offense, they will cut you off, they will push you away. Then imagine somebody that is in Hollywood, an actress, a star for that matter. Nobody will. And as I see Meagan, as I see her, she is someone that can be very stubborn. And I don't think that anyone will want to talk to her and tell her the truth without risking losing her. And I said, if you are there by her side for your personal interest, you see, and it was very, very wrong the way they approached her, their manner of approach, the way they tried to correct her. Because most people will say, I am not judging you, but I'm correcting you. Listen, it is true that what we wear will not take us to heaven. But there is a way you will correct somebody. You bring that person into heaven. And there is a way you will correct the person and you push the person away. From most people that we criticize are those that are not even sure of heaven. They are those that don't even know themselves. They are women that have not even discovered themselves. Women that have not discovered their purpose. They will be the first to throw stones as if they don't have sin. It's a pity. It's a pity, because if you look deep into this case, you will know that both parties are not compatible, one, but Devon is suffering. As I shared in one of my videos, the video that I posted before this one, there's a picture he shared on Facebook. He was crying. For a man to be in that state of mind, he was crying in that picture. He was broken, emotionally hurting, emotionally in pain, emotionally broken. And I pray healing. I pray for that healing that Devon, I have followed him on Facebook. He's a man that loves to pray, and I pray that the healing he has been praying for others, that he have the courage to open up himself to receive that healing, because he really needs that healing right now. Devon needs that healing right now. He needs to be close to God more than ever. And a broken marriage is not the end of the world, and it won't be the end of his world. The only thing that they didn't handle this thing very well, they didn't handle it. The people around them contributed to bring this marriage to end. And another thing people don't understand about marrying a man of God is this. I'm saying this, and I want to use this opportunity to say this. If you are married to a man of God, especially to a pastor, be ready to endure so many things. It is not easy to marry a man of God. I've said it. I hear women who are married to man of God, to pastors precisely. Listen, if you are married to a pastor, this is my advice to you. Your husband is permitted to flirt. Many women won't tolerate it. He is a man. He is married. He is a pastor married to you, yes, but don't forget that he's a man, and it is in their nature to flirt. If they can't flirt with the way they talk to women, they flirt with their eyes. You can't control their eyes from looking, and you can't control their mouth from when they will compliment women in an exaggerated way. They are flirting. It is permitted, but what is not permitted is cheating on your wife as a pastor. If you are a pastor and you are cheating on your wife, then you have already divorced her spiritually. And you still living with a woman who you continuously cheat on means you are lying to yourself, and you are lying to God, you are lying to the woman, and you are lying to the congregation. A pastor is permitted to flirt because you can never stop a dog from barking, okay? And you can't stop a goat from eating grass, no matter how anointed. It is normal. I don't have problem with that. It shows that he's a man. It shows that he's alive. No anointing can stop that. Even Jesus allowed Mary to, wipe his feet with her tears and with her hair. And I believe when she was anointing the leg, she was rubbing the leg. So even the disciples, all of them were raising eyebrows like, what are you doing? What do you think you are doing? Ciao, grazie. But then Jesus didn't stop the woman from doing what, you are allowed to flirt, but you are not allowed to trespass. You are not allowed to cheating, because once you start cheating, you start having sex with other women, you are, breaking that spiritual principles. You are bonding on a spiritual level with other women. You are bonding energetically with other women. You are connecting emotionally and spiritually and physically with other women. It's not just about having sex. So if you are a spiritual man, as a man of God, you're already a spiritual human being, because we are energetic being. We are spirits, one. Then coupled with the fact that you represent the authority of God here on earth. You are wearing a mantle of authority. You are being respected, and for you to live your spiritual life, you have to be true to yourself. And for you to be true to yourself, I don't believe that cheating will be part of it. So you are permitted as a pastor, both man or woman, to flirt with your eyes, with your mind, with whatever, but you are not permitted to cheat, even though the Bible says that to look at a woman in a certain way means you have sinned. Yes, but did the Bible tell you how not to sin with your mind when looking at people? Did the Bible tell you not even to have feelings? Because you cannot control your feelings. You cannot control how your heart beats when he meets certain people, right? I'm yet to read that place in the Bible where I'm being told, how to make my heart beat in a certain way, so that I will not trespass with my heart or with my mind or with my feelings or with my sentiments. Okay? So you read the Bible, but you apply wisdom. Okay? So you are permitted to flirt because you cannot control certain things. It is in human nature. It is in human nature, but you are not permitted to cheat. As a man of God or a woman of God, you are permitted to make mistakes. It is human. It is normal. It is part of our nature. No one will condemn you because you make a mistake, but you are not permitted to make that mistake a habitual one. When it becomes habitual, it becomes a habit. It becomes something you do intentionally. You do it on purpose. It's no longer a mistake. It becomes your habit. Then it becomes sin. Pastors should learn, male or female pastors, should learn to keep their private life away from church. Your private life has to stay in your apartment, in your building, in your house, in your home where you live with your wife and children. You don't have to bring it into the church and, mesmerize church issues, church difficulties, church crises, church challenges or problems with your own personal crises and issues you're having at home with your wife, with your family members, with your relatives. It is something that you call elders, and secretly and silently they will be praying for you. If you need counseling, you meet other pastors that are maybe more mature and more advanced and experienced in the ministry. Then they can advise both of you and pray for both of you and counsel both of you. But you must learn to keep your private life private. It is between you and God. There are things that church doesn't have to know. It doesn't have to concern the church, though your well-being and your welfare concerns the church. But when it comes to personal issues. There are things you need to keep personal. There are things, private lives you need to keep private. Because the reason why you need to keep them private is because when they come out in the public and the church is being, forced to enter into discussing certain things, confusion will come in. And that's why drama comes in. And that's why you see certain people will start to leave the church, because many people will be misunderstood. Many people will want to, chip in their own opinion. Many people will want to say their own. Everybody wants to say. People love to talk. People talk too much. And before they start talking too much, ask yourself, why did you bring the case that's supposed to be private? You made it public. It's like taking your private issues as a pastor and as a pastor's wife, and you're posting it on social media platform. And when people start to comment on it, then you start asking, why are they commenting? Why did you bring it on social media platform in the first place? So you see, there are things that a pastor needs to know, if you want to make the work of God more flexible for you and easier. It is not going to be easy, but at least so that you could be able to manage. Private issues need to be kept aside. Don't hurt people because of what you are going through in the house with your wife. Because if you bring what you are going through in the house into the church, you will start hurting people in the church. People that love you, that came to support you, that have been working with you in the church, you will start hurting them and they will start hurting you. Energy is powerful. When you transmit a negative energy, you attract negative energy. And sometimes you start asking, why is that person hurting me? Forgetting that you started first to hurt the person. Maybe your attitude, you are still pretending, you are still trying to cover up, but your energy has already, reached out to the person. You have transmitted this energy to the person. The person has received that energy, perceived that energy of hatred. And before you know it, automatically the person will start to respond. Oh God. God's people need to apply wisdom. I always say this. Pastor's wife should understand that you own your husband in your bedroom. Once you left the bedroom, you no longer own him, even though you are married to him as pastor's wife. I will explain myself. Many women that are married to pastors think that they will control his life on the bed, in the bed, around the bed, and also in the congregation, on the pulpit, who he talks to, who he meets, who he chats with, who he spends his time chatting on phone, who he calls, who he wants to visit. You can't control a man's life just because you are married to him. Be you a pastor's wife or a non-pastor's wife. When God created man and created everything on earth, he never asked man to control other man. He never asked man to rule over other man, other human beings. You are given authority to rule over every other creation, to till the land, to walk the land, to, kill and eat the animals. But you are not allowed. You don't have authority over another man's existence. It's like you are becoming a god over him now or over her. The only God and that has authority over him, over his life, is the God that created him or her. And that is why you see people begin to repel. They begin to rebel. They begin to question. They begin to be, move away from you. Once you want to trespass, because it is trespassing, once you want to start to control another man's life, another woman's life, you are going against the law of nature. You're going against the principles and laws that governs the universe, the God's creation. God never gave you the authority to, rule over another human being. You can rule over every other of his creation, but you don't have authority over another man's life. And when you want to control his every movement, you are trespassing, whether you are married to him or her. So, most people go into marrying a man of God without, first of all, going through marriage counseling, marriage training. And that's why most Christian marriages, they suffer and they fall apart. Because if Devon and Meagan has undergone is very serious, marriage counseling, marriage training, I believe she should have known it better to go into such marriage. She should have known it better, the way to dress and the way not to dress as a pastor's wife. Not every woman is meant to be a pastor's wife. Not every woman. If you are the hot-tempered type, if you are the jealous type, if you are the one that type that gossips, if you are the type that cannot overlook anything, if you are the type that want to put your eyes and your mouth in everything that the pastor is doing, everything that's happening in the church, you are not fit to be a pastor's wife. A pastor's wife is supposed to be a mother to the church. You raise the church just the way you raise your own child. You must have patience. You must have tolerance over every other person and over everything that is happening. You must be supportive. You must be a strong spiritual woman. Oh God. If you're the type that keeps malice, easily angered, you are not fit to be a pastor's wife, because the mistake they make is thinking that it's just about dressing on Sunday and going to stand, in front of the altar. And when standing in front of the altar, you think you are better than every other woman there. No. Or you think that you have power to decide their existence, or even to decide your husband's existence. No. You are there to help bring the church together, just like a mother hen. It takes a matured woman. It takes a woman that is seasoned, a woman that is experienced, a woman that is spiritually strong, matured, and intelligent, a woman that is educated, a woman that is learned, a woman that is spiritually powerful. That is a woman that is fit to be a pastor's wife, because you are dealing with other spirits. Remember, we are spirits, not just human beings. And for you to be dealing with other spirits, you need to be powerful spiritually. You need to be equipped. Oh God, it's not easy to be a pastor's wife. If not, you will mess up his ministry. He will be struggling. He will never be comfortable. He will never be happy. He will never be fulfilled. And God will ask you, why did you marry him in the first place? Why did you marry him? Did you marry him just because of sex? You marry him just because you want a husband? You want a house, a roof over your head? You want the title? So, you see, it's not easy to be a pastor's wife. It's not about your pastor. It's about the congregation. It's about the work of God. That mantle of authority, it means work. It means responsibility. It means office. People wake up every morning. Immediately the alarm rings, they go to work and they come back. They respond to the director of the company. The same thing, your husband responds to the Holy Spirit. He responds to God. He has a bigger authority, bigger responsibility than that of those going to work in the fabrica. So you need to respect that authority. You need to respect that mantle. It's not about, I say women of God. It's about dressing. It's about, posting. It's about, profile. What about your spiritual life? Have you humbled yourself to seek God, to seek wisdom, to seek knowledge, to seek understanding? Gosh, may God have mercy. May God have mercy on all these pastors. They need our support. They need our prayer. Frankly speaking, they are going through hell. Unspeakable things they battle within the church and in their home, their personal life, in their relationships, financially, emotionally, mentally. No wonder most of them end up being depressed. Most of them are committing suicide. You never can tell the untold stories of pastors and their wives. People need to, those that are close to them need to, be wise and know how to help them, to support them, because they need help. Pastor's wife need to be patient, compassionate, bearing one another, supportive, helping to build other brethren, not jealous and envious, not competitive, not the one that shows up, shows off. Want to show you are better than every other woman, you know it better, you don't take counseling, you don't take advice, you always like to give others advice, but nobody will advise because you know it all. You are not fit to be a pastor's wife. I stop this here. If you are the type that is controlling, you are not fit to be a pastor's wife. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Somebody might benefit from this video. Don't keep it to yourself. Somebody out there need to hear this today. You do them a big favor by sharing it. God bless you, and good luck, pastor's wife, and good luck to pastors. I pray for grace for each and every one of you.